Welcome to Company Showcase, an advertising feature on HowStreet.com.
I'm Jim Goddard. I'm speaking with Jared Lazerson. He's the president and CEO of MGX Minerals. Welcome to the show, Jared.
Hi, Jim.
Can you tell us a little bit about MGX Minerals?
Sure. MGX started out as an industrial mineral company. We developed our first, or an exploration on our first project, magnesium oxide, magnesium project in southeastern British Columbia. That was our listing property when we went public about 4 years ago now. So we have a lot of experience in the industrial minerals space. What's been exciting of late, January of last year, so about a year ago, we successfully extracted lithium from oil wastewater. This was actually from oil sands evaporator blowdown, concentrated wastewater from oil sands SAGD production. This was monumental. It really hadn't been done before, at least to our knowledge. We extracted lithium and then have spent really the last year optimizing, developing, and commercializing I wouldn't say the words first rapid extraction of lithium plant, but certainly the first modular scalable plant. So very low cost, relatively high efficiency in terms of recoveries of salts and lithium. We're now north of 70% recovery of lithium, and magnesium, sodium, calcium are all in the 98, 99% range. So MGX really a kind of combination of resource company, but also to use the fancy word or the word of the day, Cleantech company, a real process-oriented company looking to optimize different resources, whether it's wastewater, oil and gas wastewater, mine tailings, natural lithium brine, extract the minerals at a very low cost, and open up resources that are acquired relatively inexpensively or by joint venture that otherwise kind of sat on the sidelines only because of one factor or another: scale, too high magnesium content, too large environmental footprint to put in, for example, massive solar evaporation ponds, which are traditionally used. So really MGX, real combination, clean tech resource company. That's essentially where we're at. And the other piece I'd add is that we're very much focused on battery commodities, advanced materials, commodities really of the future that we see that are going to have long runs out into kind of the new energy economy. So that would be the focus on the resource side, energy-oriented commodities, but also a big piece of the company is clean tech and process technology.
Are people looking at MGX as kind of a renewal for the Alberta oil patch?
Yes. So a big theme in Alberta the last couple of years certainly has been diversification, but really in Alberta they say energy diversification, not in the common way we think of it, as in not relying on a certain traditional form or fossil fuel form of energy and looking for other sources of energy, but really on the production side, developing other energy or other it's not technologies, but really industries tied to or in some way allowing for diversification away from oil and gas. We found really the perfect hybrid, which is, and this was a fundamental thought that we came to a year ago or 2 years ago really, when our lithium focus started. We first started acquiring mineral assets and mineral claims in Alberta, really covering off producing oil fields. So the concept really in terms of the diversification was to use existing infrastructure, the billions of dollars of existing infrastructure in Alberta, in Texas, Utah, Colorado, Oklahoma, globally, massive infrastructure, some of it underutilized, as in the wells and the fields have kind of gone fallow, so the infrastructure was simply there. That would be the abandoned well side or reutilization or repurposing of wells. But without getting into details, really this fundamental concept, there's massive infrastructure. If we can get lithium out of the wastewater that is being produced by the oil and gas wells anyways, then you just have a double down. You inherently have an energy diversification, ironically, into lithium, the new gasoline of the gasoline of the new energy economy, as Goldman calls it, out of the same well. And we just love this idea. Our shareholders love this idea. even non-shareholders on the environmental side. Everybody loves this idea, although it creates a bit of a quandary when you have the anti-oil and gas fossil fuel people all of a sudden faced with the idea that oil and gas may actually be the larger or the largest lithium producer in the future. But I think that's really the concept. Alberta can move to a lithium production, to a lithium economy, and I mean on the production side, without changing a lot. Really just the water's coming out of the wells anyways, or there's wells that are just sitting there abandoned, unused, into aquifers that are lithium rich. Alberta doesn't have the highest lithium scores, but certainly in terms of water production, it's massive, really massive. And Alberta oil tends to sell at a discount, so anything to kick up revenue, even a couple of bucks, is a huge difference in the economics of the oil fields themselves. Plus, one last piece is that the technology cleans out the oil and the hydrocarbons in the front end to create a clean brine, during which the minerals are then, or in the brine processing, the minerals are then extracted, including lithium, but the byproduct is actually relatively clean water. So you now actually also have potential of water handling revenue, or offsetting environmental costs of water, which is a really big factor in oil sands, the heavy bitumen content water, that if it doesn't go to tailings, which is in and of itself a potential issue, but a lot of this wastewater has to go to, for example, salt caverns, or not a lot of it, but a portion of it has to go to salt caverns. Other water has to be disposed of at an environmental facility, and then obviously a lot goes to tailings. But the idea also of a double down, produce lithium and other minerals, but also clean the water, and now you've really kind of hit a home run in terms of the in the environmental space, or at least the new energy economy.
And I'm just thinking, is in so much of Alberta where the oil is produced, they're very dry areas. In the long run, perhaps that water could even be used for irrigation. Absolutely. We've spent a lot of time traveling around North America, in the Laos Bay, California, other areas where you really have a major issue with water. I think that geologically we tend to find oil in the scrub, in these dry areas in the deserts. Geologically, it just tends to be that way. So, repurpose and reuse. Reuse in particular, oil and gas uses a huge amount of water. Drilling in and of itself, refineries. And if you think about it, you're using a huge amount of water drilling. A lot of water is coming up as production water. You're getting some of the minerals out of that water. You're producing clean water, which can then just go right back in and drilling. And so what you end up doing, and this is kind of key on the environmental side, but also on the efficiency side, is you start to eliminate a lot of the trucking or having to put in water pipelines. Water pipelines can be relatively efficient, but we all know pipelines take time and are expensive. Trucking, obviously tremendously inefficient to truck water. Water is very, very heavy. It's never going to be worth all that much, even in places of high demand. Nobody's going to ever pay a ton for water, but you will pay a lot for the trucking because you just have to have the water. So you eliminate the trucking, you eliminate a huge portion of the cost, but exactly, I mean, you got it, Jim. It's really reuse and repurpose on the water side. Jared, can you tell us where MGX is traded and under what symbols?
Sure. We are on the Canadian Securities Exchange, the CSE, under the symbol XMG. We're in Germany as well, under the symbol 1MG, and in the U.S., on the OTCQB, under MGX-MF.
And how can people find out more about MGX?
Website is best, mgxminerals.com.
Jared, thank you so much for this update on your company.
Thanks, Jim.
Our guest has been Jared Lazerson. He's the president and CEO of MGX Minerals. We were speaking on December 18th. I'm Jim Goddard.
Comments made on Company Showcase are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at howstreet.com. Company Showcase is a production of Howe Street Media Incorporated.